Finally, we're here at Misty Mountain's Winter Finals. The finals of said finals will finally be played between our final two competitors, Aaron Dix on your left, playing Sligh from Minneapolis, against Ethan Poellinger playing Goblins.
Yeah,
lacrosse.
Aaron finally made a top 8 of a Misty Mountain
finals.
Event.
Yeah, the final. Finally. That is final is the word of the day.
Yeah,
and I'm joined here by Michael Heup, the Cloud Goat Ranger, and we're gonna see who our champion's gonna be today.
Yes. Chat's pointed out that we could have said the final two finalists. Man, missed opportunities. But yeah, so we have kind of a repeat kind of what Ethan saw earlier. I mean,
are you gonna see the same damn match here?
So he just dispatched Peter McGrain, who was on Sligh. He's going to see if he can do it again against Aaron. I don't know if there are big differences in terms of their deck list. I guess we have seen some sideboard cards that were a little different that might come into play, but we'll talk about that maybe in our second and third game. Chad has asked about deck list, so we'll have that posted on. It'll be available after the tournament.
Yeah.
And through what's the best way? Will it just be through MTG
Melee?
Yeah,
you'll be able to just look at MTG Melee and see all the deck lists as soon as the event's over.
Yeah.
But you will not be able to see the top 8 because of a thing involving Melee where they don't really. You'll be able to see who was in the top 8, but they won't be able to see the bracket.
And then I know also the top 8 decks will be at least on TC decks, which is where a lot of the Premodern decks live. And we're gonna kick things off. Ethan's gonna start with a Mogg Fanatic off a mountain.
One of these two is gonna play it. Fantastic. Aaron Baubles sees a matron. Now knows that Ethan will have his choice of any goblin in his deck. And then drops that Grim Lavamancer in play. Ethan could have just attacked and see if he'd block, but
whether they just die in combat, is that a more honorable way? I mean,
you have to block, right?
Yeah. You. I guess unless you think it's incorrect for Ethan to shoot the Grim Lavamancer. All right.
I mean, it's still. I mean, you're
giving the player the option.
A 3 point of damage.
Yep.
The next PM event at Misty will be next year. This is the finals.
After the finals
of 2023.
Yeah.
I haven't set some dates yet. I'll get on that very soon. Probably in March or February.
All right. The main deck Goblin Tinkerer does not look like this is one that's been altered that we raffled off.
No Christmas trees there.
No Christmas tree or presents for this Goblin Tinkerer, but a 1/2.
There is an event in Milwaukee at the Mana Vault coming up in January on the 10th or 16th. No, 13th. 13th. No, I don't know.
Yeah, the 13th was the Premodern event. Yeah.
Thanks. Right. 3 mountains. Active Lavamancer.
All right, we're gonna kick things off.
Sulfuric Vortex.
Well, I'll start updating the life totals.
The Lavamancer will have to stay home, staring down the barrel of a 1/2.
Kind of funny that Curse Scroll also is shut off. The Tinker could eat that up, real nice and easy.
Yeah,
certainly not the matchup I think that Goblin Tinker is in the deck for, but I mean, I guess when it comes to it, we do see the matron that was revealed with the Bauble, and now Ethan might be getting a Ringleader here. Otherwise,
yeah, I think it's probably Ring.
Oh, Mogg Fanatic. Okay,
fantastic.
Yeah, I was to say, like, this is a position where so far Aaron's had to use a Grim Lavamancer and a Shock, and then got the Sulfuric Vortex. So, and Ethan so far has not really presented a lot of threats, and so with the life totals like whittling away, I think that gives a pretty big advantage to the Sligh deck that it can potentially like burn out the opponent pretty well.
Yeah.
The Fanatic that was got for the Matron will be used on the Lavamancer, and then Aaron will use that opportunity before it dies to shoot Ethan for 2 damage.
Yeah, and then Ethan is gonna get in for his 2. Has to keep a clock going because the Vortex is gonna end this game pretty soon.
So Goblin Matron 2 comes down. I would think I'd be looking at either Ringleader if you don't have a land, or maybe Sea Chain Commander if you do. Otherwise, oh, okay. The man, I guess
Another Mogg Fanatic. I guess he's just trying to stay lean and mean here.
one nice thing about the Fanatic is like when it's in play, you feel a little bit safer against a Ball Lightning, which could be a huge chunk of damage, and maybe that's something that's on his mind.
It does kill every creature in Aaron's deck.
That's true.
And attacks more.
Yeah, it just gives Ethan the ability to tap out all the time and protect against that point of that 6 points from the Ball Lightning.
A powerful place to be in Magic when you can just don't need to leave mana up.
I mean, I was to say, like, it also gives him the mana availability to use the Rishon before it, but I don't think that's very relevant given how many lands Aaron has.
11 to 11, right? Now it's 11 to 9.
The Lightning Bolt was deployed at Ethan. And then an attack for 3. This feels like a pretty tight race, though. Aaron's got 2 cards in hand.
2 cards in hand for Aaron. He's gonna have to kill Ethan here, I think.
Well,
a lot of damage. Looking at. I guess if he just kills the pile driver, he only takes 4 and then
dies to the Vortex.
Yeah.
No, it looks like it's not there from the burn. I mean, it just felt like Aaron drew a good amount of lands there. I mean, like,
yeah,
if he wasn't able to play the other cards in his hand, I feel like, yeah, just kind of a clunky draw. That felt like a game that Sligh could have taken. Like if the cards were a little bit different.
Well, when you play Bauble, you had a wild card in your hand. You don't know what it's going to be. When it draws a land, you're kind of unhappy and you're a little more flooded than you thought you're going to be because you didn't have full information. I'll stop showing you.
All right. Are there things in the sideboard that we can look at? So we talked before, kind of talked about Lava Dart a little bit. We talked about Pyroclasm. So that's a card that we've seen from Aaron's sideboard, and that could be something that really swings the matchup. And so we'll see if that comes into play, if that's something that Aaron's able to draw, and because that could, especially if it's an opponent that's not prepared for that card, like if they don't know it's coming, you could really swing a game, a board state there.
After seeing how key Fanatic was, do you still think you shouldn't bring in Dart? I guess what are you taking out? Go back to that.
Well, I mean, so you're saying because he drew a bunch of lands that he would have been able to take out 2 creatures?
Yeah.
I mean, you really only you take out 1 power toughness creature, which you would have been able to take out anyways with a normal burn spell. So you get to take out another creature, which I guess would have been Mogg or Skirk Prospector. Because if you would have targeted Mogg Fanatic and then take out Skirk Prospector.
I mean, Dart would have been great.
Yeah, I guess it would have bought Aaron a good amount of time because Ethan was like chipping in for a good amount of turns. But
Goblin's just kind of one of those decks that wants to, it escalates,
You just also get it in those spots where it's kind of like, so there was a point where Aaron just became down to a race, and if you're trying to deal enough points of burn, and you have too many cards that deal 1 as compared to dealing. Well, obviously you want the ones that deal 3,
2, right? Like,
okay, yeah, it doesn't always deal 2 if you're short on resources and you're using Fireblast.
Like if you only have 17 mountains in your deck.
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be interesting that we could chat with Aaron at some point and see it, because I'm sure
I got questions.
this is a matchup
about this
that he plays a lot.
Always scary to play against a red player who knows what's going on in the matchup, you know.
All right, trying to take a peek at Ethan's hand. Couldn't really get a grasp of what was on there, and then looks like Aaron's going to keep his hand. He's going to start things off with the Mogg Fanatic.
Oh, and then he draws the Goblin King. Oh, it's so bad right now.
It'd be fun if that's how the game ends, is that coming down to that. All right. I guess they were trying to think about like what happens if I let this Mogg Fanatic hit me. No. Is that what
I think Ethan like just stopped, like, wait, I have an option here.
Well, I guess Aaron would be like, yeah, you have an option, but one of them is bad for you.
Yeah.
And the other one is what I'm assuming you're going to do. So
yeah, Mogg Fanatic is such a safety valve. I really like that he went and got it now. Where I think about it, game one, it's like you just so many things you don't have to worry about.
Yeah, if you're thinking of a defensive mindset, then yeah.
It'll let you be more aggressive too.
Sure. Ethan doesn't have a play, but he does have a Rishon import, which will port Aaron on the upkeep, and it looks like he's going to use the Grim Lavamancer with that mana to deal 2. So, yeah, looks like it's just the idea of I'm going to be the aggressor. I'm not going to try and play a control game. I'm not going to save that to take out a War Chief or a Pile Driver or a Sieging. I'm pointing everything at you.
Yep.
I want this game to end quick. I need to use my mana at all times.
It's beatdown. Be in the beatdown. And is going to play Matron. Another Fanatic.
I mean, so looking at it, the first 2 cards I saw were Wooded Foothills. I didn't see what the rest is. Yep, Mogg Fanatic.
Mogg Fanatic. Best Goblin and Goblins when you're playing against Mono Red.
All right, Aaron's gonna untap. Got the 2 Lavamancers in play, though currently he doesn't have anything in the graveyard. He'll play a Curse Scroll and then pass the turn. He's got 2 cards in hand. All right,
He's got 2 Wooded Foothills. One of the cards. You bring in price? Probably not, right?
I don't know. I don't think so. Because it probably on average does 2 to 3 points of damage for 2 mana and doesn't impact the board. I don't think. Yeah. So Ethan's going to find a forest with that Wooded Foothills. That gives him, I guess that's an indication that he has some amount of green cards still in his main.
Well, I think it probably means he brought in Call of the Cloud.
Yeah. Well, we did see Naturalize targeting the Sulfuric Vortex. And there are Curse Scrolls too, so like there are targets for Naturalize.
I should have messed with Artie and said this was the final one.
Well, technically it is, right?
Final.
The finals. All right, so Ethan's really thinking about this turn. So trying to see what the options are in his hand. I think I see a ringleader. Okay.
He can either play Ringleader. I guess he can't. He doesn't have the option to play Goblin King and Fanatic.
Right. So Pile Driver, Prospector, Mogg Fanatic are the hits, and a Rich Import goes to the bottom.
Well played.
Definitely seems good. Like I guess if you used a Goblin Matron to get a Mogg Fanatic, it seems pretty good to get a Mogg Fanatic plus 2 other cards.
I think they're both saying to be done now. 14. Well.
Okay, so
Aaron takes one as well.
That was a shock that was deployed.
Yeah. Bolt and shock.
Was Ethan discarding the hand size?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. That's a situation that you definitely didn't think it would come up very often in the red mirror. Yeah, so the 3 cards that we see, and then there's 4 other cards in his hand. No, one's a Wooded Foothills, then we saw like Goblin King. I'm trying to think what the other 2 are.
Mm-hmm. The multiple Lavamancers doesn't help Aaron a lot.
So I guess we'll go back to that Wooded Foothills getting a forest right there. Like, if you're not casting a green card immediately, like right now, you would much rather have that be a mountain.
Yeah. Especially the second one in your hand. But
yeah.
I guess he kind of doesn't want to crack it, right? Because every point is really important.
Sure. All right, we got one Lavamancer that's getting aggressive. That'll take Ethan down to 11. And then Aaron's going to pass the turn. Does Aaron just have 1 card in his hand?
I think so.
So the Curse Scroll is active, as is the Grim Lavamancer, with 2 cards in the graveyard. Ethan's going to start with the Mogg Fanatic. This is going to take out the untapped Grim Lavamancer, which will then go to Ethan, taking him to 9.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like there's a Mossfire Valley in the hand.
Yeah. He's in a situation here where, like, man, he's really going to be in trouble for ball ending gets thrown.
All right, so Ethan's considering his options. So he does still have the Mogg Fanatic and the Pile Driver. Those are face up on the table. Those are still in his hand. They're just cards that Aaron has seen from Goblin Ringleader.
Mm-hmm. I think. What is the other red card?
I
don't know what card that is.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at it. I'm trying to think which card it is. Adds a Mossfire Valley to the board. That will allow him to cast Pile Driver.
And wait.
There's got to be a Siege King there, right? Okay, we see a Fireblast that is revealed to Curse Scroll, so Ethan will take 2 down to 7. And now Ethan's counting. Do you have me for sure?
He has to.
Yeah. He has to kill the Lavamancer at least. Because if the Lavamancer stays alive, then there'd be Fireblast plus Curse Scroll plus Lavamancer would be 8. And so do you Curse Scroll on upkeep here?
And what do you Curse Scroll? Like if he doesn't kill the Pile Driver, he's dead. Well, he's only taking 8.
But
the king would kill him.
Yeah, I would say, but we know. Yeah, so Aaron's going to pass turn. 2 cards in hand and a Curse Scroll.
Right. The king, right?
I guess it depends on your other options.
Well, he's dead. he doesn't make Aaron do something.
I mean, if the curse scroll missed, the other card's a blank. It's possible, right?
Oh, that's true.
But
what could it be that wouldn't like cause trouble for Ethan, and also doesn't kill him?
Another
like an incinerate. It has to be an incinerate. Right?
Yeah, but a sulfuric vortex.
No, an incinerate would kill him. Sulfuric vortex. Probably sulfuric vortex.
That could be a card that Aaron wouldn't want to play.
A ball lightning, I guess.
But he would have.
No, he would have cast it.
Yeah. Okay, so Goblin King was played, and then Aaron's. Is this a 50-50?
Maybe it's a Fireblast.
Okay, it does take a. I guess, I mean, like, you still have the option, if it missed, that you'd use a Fireblast on it to stay alive.
Mm-hmm. Almost 8 damage. And Fanatic.
So we're kind of in the same boat, right? Like, Aaron's gonna draw.
Oh.
Well, is there enough for threshold? Oh, there's 2 Fire Blasts. Okay, so it was.
Yep.
So a little bit of drama there that we saw the 50-50 we quote in quotes for that curse scroll.
But we kind of figured. I think we.
Well,
we'd figured out that was like one of the few cards you're gonna have that wasn't.
Yeah, but I mean, it makes sense from Aaron's perspective. Like, it wasn't theater because like you don't want to reveal that you have 2 Fire Blasts because it might come into play with. If you have to use a defensive Fire Blast and your opponent knows that it's the other card. So
it could have been a vortex, you know.
Yeah. So.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So
I think he would have played the vortex.
I don't think.
Oh no, he wouldn't.
You just die then. Well, you would have died. I mean, you don't just die on board, but
you'd have to Fire Blast.
You Fire Blast the king, and then you go down to 3, and then the Mogg Fanatic that would have been played would have put you to 2, and then you would have died in that. Mm-hmm. I mean, but you didn't know about a Fanatic or a king. But
that was a close one.
Yeah.
Here we go, the final game of the finals between these 2 finalists.
At the Misty Mountain Finals.
2 finalists.
We're finally here.
Finally.
All right, chat. I want to hear. Who are we rooting for?
What if there was a Final Fortune in one of their decks? We would have to.
Aaron has, I think, played Final Fortune.
We would have to be on the side of the person with that in their deck.
Yeah.
Final Fortune. Yeah, put that. Just leave that up.
Did you ever try and play that card? Final Fortune?
I played that card.
Like it in Premodern or like back in like standard days or what?
Yeah, put that in some decks that needed half a turn to win, you know?
Are they just decks where you're like attacking, or is it like, are you setting up like you're playing Mana Flare and then like playing Final Fortune and then untapping and try and go off? What are you doing with Final Fortune?
They factor fiction at the end of your turn.
Okay.
And you Final Fortune and kill them.
Okay.
That's how we draw it up.
Right. So it's just an aggressive deck.
Yeah.
Okay. So you already have to have like a board presence, probably.
I had a really cool standard deck once upon a time, a few years ago, that didn't play Final Fortune, play like Glorious Sun and like like some other card. Glorious Sun was like did all the same thing as Final Fortune.
Okay.
Like had like a whole bunch of like you can't lose the game cards like Gideon and the Lich's Mastery in it. That thing was sweet.
All right, so who do you like in this game number 3? Ethan's on the play.
I think the play is probably a pretty reasonable factor.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people in the Premodern community are much more familiar with Aaron as a namesake Nate, so got some people cheering there, but I do see some chat providing some support for Ethan.
Yeah.
So
I've known Ethan forever. I'm like, I would love to see either of these people be the champion. I was like, I walked out there and I'm like, I don't know who to root for.
Okay. Looks like Aaron's going down to 6. So gotta find a hand that a little bit better, but of quality cards.
Okay, now I think Ethan's got the advantage.
Okay.
Which means I'm cheering for Aaron.
You're always cheering for the underdog.
Oh yeah. I hope we get a good finals game.
So you don't want like a lackey to connect and put a CJ into play?
No.
I guess it would be kind of embarrassing from Aaron's point of view, like if he kept the hand where lackey connected on turn 2. I guess if you mustered a Lavamancer and Ethan removed it, but I would say like what kind of hand are you keeping that doesn't have a 1-mana interaction spell?
Is that the cut if you're goblins? So you cut a couple of siege gangs?
No, I don't think so.
No? I mean, that's a set of games that you lose is when you draw too many of them in this matchup.
I don't know. I mean, like anytime you have like Skirk Prospector and play like playing Sea Chain is just huge.
Yeah.
Like it represents so much damage.
Oh no, not like this.
Aaron going down to 5. At least he's on the draw that like that he gets that
Aaron's
extra
a showman. He might just be doing this on purpose.
I don't think that's the case.
I don't think so either.
All right. So I would say in terms of like Lackey's not the most impressive in this matchup because it is so vulnerable to all the removal spells, but it's still like we said, if it just demands an answer, it makes Aaron script his play that he's not able to develop the board.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, have we seen sideboard cards from Aaron?
We haven't.
Okay.
I mean,
yeah, I mean that's the only card I think that we really talked about. So 2 cards will go to the bottom for Aaron. He'll start with 5. Ethan's gonna kick things off with a mountain and the Mogg Fanatic. It's here again.
I mean, we talked about not playing Lavender.
All right, Bauble's gonna
Seize the Matron. Just
Seize the
like
Matron. Like a little bit of deja vu. And a curse scroll. Okay. And then he'll draw from the Bauble trigger. So Ethan gets to untap. He'll attack with the Fanatic. Aaron goes down to 19. And another mountain. And is anything else going to get added?
Yes. I think he has a handful of Matron.
Okay. I think there might be an Incinerator in there as well. And it might be, did we see the King as well?
Yeah, there's the King.
More Baubles from Aaron.
Bauble.
It's the Goblins versus the Boblins.
Goblins and Boblins.
We should put Bauble in our Goblin deck so we can be the Boblin Goblins.
The Bauble Goblins.
Probably not very good with your Goblin Ring.
That should be our Premodern team name.
Boblin Goblins.
The Boblin Goblins.
All right, Shock will be used on the Mogg Fanatic, which will deal a point of damage on its way out. And
I was wondering if that was like Aaron trying to stick a 1/1. Because he knows like the Incinerator is going to be able to kill it.
Sure. All right, 3rd mound for Ethan, and this looks like this is a Matron play, or is this a War Chief? Matron. What are you interested in getting here? Is it going to be the consistent what we've seen before?
Might be a Fanatic again. Yeah,
okay,
later.
Here we go for the Ringleader. I know we did see another land in hand, so yeah, I don't know if if he just has multiple copies, he's a Sligh. I think that's actually the case.
What?
People have asked because Aaron's played with like his all foil version of his Sligh deck.
Yeah.
And I think he just has a 2nd copy, I think is what it is.
He's got foil baubles and everything.
Yeah.
The Bauble and Goblins. Ball lightning.
All right, Jackal Pup coming down. A little late to the party.
A little bit.
I mean, like, I would probably have it get in the way of a Goblin Ringleader if given the choice, right?
Okay, we're gonna see a ringleader.
2 lands, a Lackey, and another Matron. So a medium Ringleader, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And Ethan will get in there, and Aaron takes it all. Okay.
I don't know if I attack with the matron.
You might leave that one back for defense.
Yeah. He's ahead though.
Yeah, I mean, also like kind of looking at the cards in the hand, I can see why Ethan will try to be aggressive. But I mean, like the games that you lose,
yeah,
I can see it both ways. I'd be like, Aaron's short on resources, so that makes Curse Scroll a little bit better that he can use it defensively. But then also, it's how are you going to lose a card advantage game because Aaron's so far down on cards?
Are there games you win when Pup hits you that you wouldn't want it anyway? And are there games you lose if Pup hits you that you wouldn't have lost?
Yeah.
That's the big question, right?
I will say, just because Goblins typically does deal like big chunks of damage, that 1 point of damage doesn't as often make a big difference for the Goblins player.
Yeah, Goblins is more chunk.
Yeah, though I mean, like this is the type of draw where I can see it making a difference because it's not just 1 point here; it's 3 now at this point.
Yeah.
All right. Incinerate will take down the Goblin King, and so a Lackey gets added after the combat. I don't know. Aaron really feels like he's on the back foot here, barring that sideboard card. That I think that's what he needs to see.
Yeah, barring that one card.
I think he's really in need of that. Otherwise, I think he's in a lot of trouble. Because Ethan's going to keep putting stuff to the board. He's got plenty of things going on. I think Aaron, he has a couple of cards in hand.
Aaron was talking about this card this morning as his secret weapon against Enchantress.
Okay.
Elves.
Right. I mean, I can see it against Enchantress because a lot of times, our Gothian Enchantress has Shroud, so it's very difficult to get rid of. And sometimes they play the card like Worship. And so, like, if that's their game plan, then you at least have an out.
For sure.
All right. This Pup is getting in.
All right. 10.
I wonder if part of the reason here is like with that exchange. I'm trying to think, like, if Aaron's just inviting this Lackey to hit you, that can open up all sorts of troublesome doors.
Yeah, especially with this gigantic group of cards.
I mean, maybe he's just saying that he needs to draw that card anyways, and then a hit from Lackey doesn't really matter as much.
Yeah, maybe he's planning to Curse Scroll the Lackey. I don't know.
But then shouldn't you just do that immediately?
Yeah. Maybe.
Maybe not. All right. A pre-combat ringleader will get a Incinerator and a Lackey to hand.
Mm-hmm.
So Ethan's, I mean, he's just contemplating his attacks here. I guess whether he wants to send with the whole team, if he wants to hold something back for defense. I mean, he's still at 16, and Aaron's at 10. So you want to try and put him on a turn 2 clock, a 2-turn clock if possible.
I think I'd want to be at 12. And I want to be at 20 against Aaron at 12.
Yeah.
But still in a really good spot. It's hard to really criticize.
One thing, so looking at Ethan's hands now, I do see that there's a prospector in there, and like having that in play just makes you feel a lot more comfortable in these situations, just because of the cards that we see. I guess the incinerator wasn't revealed, but I think he has another one.
Yeah. I think I just played Matron.
I don't know if I would want to tap out. Yeah, is what I'm
I
saying.
think my line would have play Matron, go get a Siege Gang Commander, attack with my 3 guys. Are you going to kill my?
Okay.
If you don't, I'm putting a Siege Gang into play,
And then
I play a Prospector.
Yeah. Right, he gets attacking. He
Aaron's
puts a
got.
Mogg Fanatic in play.
Fireblast. Gonna knock him to 12.
Also, so, if with that incinerator, like if you target that Jackal Pup, you deal a good amount of damage. Okay, looks like it didn't matter, and then Aaron comes up short, doesn't have enough damage, and Ethan.
Aaron, flip your hand. I want to see what he had.
He had a Fireblast.
If he had 2, if he draws a mountain, he kills him.
Well, I don't think he did. So we do have Ethan Poellinger as our Misty Mountain Finals winner. He's able to take down. We had a lot of red decks, and I guess let's jump back over to our top 18 real quick. So, we had Andrew Hoskins on Elves. He defeated Michael Phillips, and then Aaron Dix took out Dylan Kramer on Elves as well. And then Ethan beat Patrick Hathaway on Dead Guy Ale, while Caleb Durwood fell to Peter McGrain. Caleb was playing the Black White Control, while Peter was on a Sligh deck. So our semifinals was Sligh, Elves, Goblins, Sligh, and the Goblins deck beat the Sligh on one side, and then the Sligh deck beat the Elves on the other side. That led us to Ethan against Aaron, where Ethan's able to take it down.
Yeah, Goblins beaten Sligh both times.
Are you interested in having Ethan come back here, and you want to talk to him for a bit?
Yeah, I think we definitely should.
All right, so let's go to the scene. Are you going to talk to him, or should I?
I'll go get him.
Okay. All right, we'll go back here. We'll have a quick interview. I guess if chat is interested in having any questions prepared for Ethan, you can do that right now. And we'll get to see kind of like what his tournament experiences was, what he's been doing in Premodern, if there were any kind of unique things he did with Goblins, or any changes in the metagame, or what he played, or just kind of what he thought people would be playing at this tournament, and kind of how his day went. Obviously, his day's got to be going pretty well if he ended up going to the files and getting it down. But yeah, congrats to Ethan taking it down, and I guess we'll give the congratulations to Aaron for finally breaking through and making that top 8 here at Misty. Yeah, a little unfortunate for him that he isn't able to take it down on his first try, but yeah, again, well done to Ethan to win. All right, Christian, we can ask about the red black goblins. So I will say, I mean, in general, I feel like people default to the red green. I think that's pretty common for people to play red green over the red black. Though there are some cool tools that the red black goblins have. Cabal Therapy and Brawl News Crusade are pretty interesting. Yeah, so I guess I'll kind of talk about like what we had in the field today. There was a good amount of Sligh. I mean, I think we had was it 3 Sligh decks in the top 8? 1, 2 Sligh. There was a good amount of Sligh, and there's a decent amount of goblins, I think, too, in the field. And elves. I think those were probably the most played decks. So I think our top 8 was pretty representative of like what our metagame was. Well, I guess the biggest difference was, I don't know how many Stifle Knot players we had, but I know Nathan Marhevke was playing it, and I don't know how he finished. He was playing the blue-white. Christian, if you're curious about that black-white control, Caleb was on stream a number of times, so you'll be able to watch the VODs and run it back and be able to see it. So, was there no oath this time?
Very little. There was an Oath Peluche.
Which was pretty surprising.
Oath Peluche, and there was... I'm trying to think.
I would say the oath that we saw with...
deck with Oath.
Oh, yep. Carl played that with Horn of Greed and whatnot. Let's say the oath that we saw on camera, I think, was just you at the bonus match against the Survival Madness. But yeah, I guess a lot less oath than maybe I would have expected.
Let's see. So Ethan, man, they never put that.
It's okay. We know what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Ethan. Oh, I don't know what happened. I'll touch it.
What were you trying to check?
I was gonna put the results in so that the deck lists would all go up.
Oh, okay.
So that we could see them.
All right. Well, they'll be up shortly.
Yeah, very shortly. Yeah, very little oath in the room. Lots of Dreadnought, but none of it made top 8.
There was a lot of Dreadnought? I guess I didn't see a ton of it. I just know Nate was one, but I don't remember who else was playing it.
There was 1, 2, 3.
All right.
3.
What was the favorite deck that you saw today?
Sligh.
Your favorite was Sligh?
Oh, what was my favorite deck that I saw today?
A man of very simple
Sligh,
taste.
not a red.
That's
the one.
Pepper's really spicy, isn't it, BK,
right? Adrian's deck was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, like, we saw it on camera and it performed. I would say, like,
yeah.
I don't know what his performance was. I think it was somewhat middling. I don't know if he went 3-2 or 2-3.
Yeah. I think he was 2-1, and then he lost.
I think he lost around 5-2. I don't know if he played it or
did he? Okay.
I think the last round I saw he was playing against blue white. Maybe that was before the final round, but we did see it on camera and it did some cool things. And it's a space that is kind of unexplored, and it was definitely a different take on some strategies that I thought of. A super aggressive black green.
Yeah.
The one thing I saw, I didn't realize, in a Sideboard game, I saw a Dwarven Blast Miner. So we talked about calling it Junk Morph, but I didn't see any white cards.
More Jund Morph.
Yeah, it's but I guess we're like, there's not that many Morph cards. Well, there's some in the Sideboard, I guess.
Yeah.
The Dwarven Blast Miner came into play.
Yeah, he has 4 morphs in his deck. He's got 2. I was selling him. I almost think he put more morphs in it because they're so good.
Just put a zombie cutthroat in there and just.
Oh yeah, you put one of those in. Yeah. Ethan might be coming back soon. I thought he was.
He's denied the interview. No, thank you. No, thank you.
Yeah. No more questions. Ethan.
All right, so we'll try and track down our champion and see if we can get some questions. But all right, chat. So I'm just looking back and see if we have questions prepared. I guess we're gonna talk about the red green as compared to red black, and yeah, I don't really see like we asked any other questions. Yep. So you want to do the interview?
Sure.
All right. If you want to sit down,
I haven't even seen back.
Welcome, Ethan, our final champion of the year.
Yeah.
In our finals, you finally won your final match.
I did, yeah.
2-1 versus 2-1? 2-0? 2-1.
That was really fast. Was it 2-1? I think it was 2-1.
Shoot.
That sounds right. Yeah, it was 2-1 because I got fire blasted.
Yeah, he got you good.
Yeah. Yep, 2-1.
So, I've known you for a long time, and we've been around the old Midwest tournament circuit from like I don't know when I met you, probably in like mid 2000s.
Yeah, like 10 years ago, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you started playing Premodern about a year ago, right?
Yes. Yeah. Actually started because of you. Actually, you just like told me about it. I mean, I knew it was around, but also you have events, and I'm like 2 hours away, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
To drive here. So yeah, the events have been awesome. I've been to all but one. I got COVID and didn't go to one of them, but yeah.
And aren't you glad you didn't play some goofy control deck and played the good
Honestly,
deck?
not really. I got like really lucky. I played against elves twice in the Swiss, and that's like very great matchup. And then
Yeah.
I just double drew in, and then I played against black white, and I managed to get through double engineered plague, circle of protection red, and I won.
Well, those are tough cards.
Yeah, but I again got lucky, and then I played burn twice, never saw lava dart. So it's been my day, I guess.
We were talking about whether dart's good against goblins or not.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good, but like you kind of need 2 plagues to really hit goblins a lot of the time, and
2 plagues.
Like, so
does
like,
it, yeah.
is 1 damage from a burn spell?
I mean, it's like you kill 2 guys with it. It's pretty good.
Yeah, but not all your guys.
Yeah, if I get the king, in
Yeah.
the mix, yeah, the king was really good for me today, Goblin King. Yeah, thanks again for hosting. It was awesome. Had a blast.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have you played a lot of goblins?
Nearly none. I mean, in testing, but I've never like put serious prep time into it. I was gonna play. I spent a lot of time play testing Growitog. I was gonna play Growitog, and I just like never won, so I stopped playing it.
Deck's garbage.
It's kind of not the best. Lanny says it's the rock.
Hey, Lanny.
It's kind of like the rock, sort of. Yeah.
Yeah. We play it because we love it.
Yeah, and then I played like I was playing the green white like Cataclysm Oath deck. But my issue there was like if they ever destroy your Sylvan library, you just flood out on lands and die and can't really do anything.
Yeah.
I had that happen a few too many times, and I was like kind of off of it. And then I was gonna play this control deck, and I didn't have enough time to test, so I was like, I'll play Goblins.
Yeah.
So yeah, worked out.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Any good? I guess you just beat up on a bunch of elf decks, right?
Yeah. So I played 3. Is it Pyrokinesis? Is that the pitch card?
Yeah.
Yeah, I played 3 Pyrokinesis, and they're excellent. Sharpshooter. Yeah, I did that.
You played 1 sharpshooter or 2?
Just 1. I thought about 2. 2 makes some sense, especially like against elves. If they sharpshooter your sharpshooter, then like you have time to get rid of theirs and then get yours again.
Yeah.
So like the second sharpshooter maybe would have been good. But yeah, I was happy to draw sharpshooter when I did, or tutor for it. And then my plan against burn was basically just like I tried to play in a way where I always had a fanatic up, so like I couldn't get.
Yeah, I thought that was super interesting. You're playing against mono red, that you kept like matrixing for fanatic.
Yeah, I didn't want to get ball lightninged, so I played the entire game in a way where he'd have to like point burn and have ball lightning to connect with ball lightning.
Yeah.
So I just was
that's
like,
something I found is I think ball lightning is like kind of the swing card of the matchup.
Yeah, that was
red.
my perception. Was like ball lightning would be the killer. So I just played in a way where I tried to be like cognizant of ball lightning and not die to ball.
All right. Well, that's your advice.
I guess.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, it worked. I don't know that.
Don't get ball lightning.
Yeah, don't get ball lightning, I guess, and don't get lava dart a bunch. But I don't know. Yeah.
I want to find out if Aaron brought in lava dart or not. What his board?
Oh
was.
yeah, there were lava darts that just didn't come
yeah.
up. I'm sure there were lava darts. Yeah, I think I saw him board them out after.
He had pyroclasms on his board.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I did not play around pyroclasm in any way. Yeah, I would have just been blown out. Yeah.
Would have got you.
Oh yeah, it would have got me good for sure.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming out. Thanks for being our 4th champion of the year.
Yeah, thank you.
And we'll see you next year for more Premodern.
Yeah, I'll be here. For sure.
Anything you want to say before we go?
No, thanks everybody for watching. Kill goblins, I guess. I don't like goblins. I'm probably not gonna play it again.
I love goblins.
But yeah, play Oath of Druids, guys. Don't let this happen again.
Come on, control decks. We can do this.
Yeah. I'm really a control player at heart, so
yeah.
But sometimes you got to do it. Goblins. I don't know. Yeah, I don't have anything super specific, but
all right. Well, we'll sign off from the Misty Mountain Finals.
Yeah, see you guys.
Have a good one.